All right, so in today's video, we'll be going through the muscles that we need for the second advanced anatomy lab exam. So we'll be looking at the muscles here of the head and neck on the torso. All right, so the muscles that we covered here in lab, we have the frontalis muscle. Okay, so that muscle is going to elevate the eyebrows. We have the orbicularis oculi. Okay, the circular muscle around the orbit that helps to close the eye. Then we have the orbicularis oris. This muscle closes the mouth or puckers the lips. Over here we can see the zygomaticus. All right, elevates the corners of the mouth or helps you to smile. On the side of the mandible we have the masseter, main muscle of mastication. On this side of the model, we can see plainly the muscle here in the cheek known as the buccinator. Okay, so there's the buccinator. It helps with whistling, it helps with chewing, it also helps with sucking. Now, in the neck, we can see the SCM, okay, sternocleidomastoid. It helps with rotation of the neck and flexion of the head and neck, sometimes nicknamed the S-no muscle. Here we see the pectoralis major. Now the pectoralis major attaches to the arm, and so the actions would be to adduct and flex the arm. The deltoid, we have anterior, lateral, and posterior fibers, and so flexion, abduction, and extension of the arm. Okay, it's something that you want to make sure you pay attention to. Now in the front of the body we can see the rectus abdominis, the six-pack muscle. Okay, so that helps to flex the torso. In the arm here we can see the biceps brachii. All right, flexes the elbow. Down here we can see the brachioradialis. Okay, right on the very top of the forearm, kind of going down obviously to the radius. Okay, so that helps to flex the elbow and supinate the hand. And then we see the triceps brachii on the posterior side of the arm here. Okay, that's going to help extend the elbow. Now some muscles that we see here on the posterior side or the back. We have the trapezius extending across the tops of the shoulders up to the occipital region, down in between the spine, and then back up to the spine of the scapula. All right, this muscle here does a number of different things, but the one that we talk about in class is elevation of the shoulders or shrugging the shoulders. Down here we can see the latissimus dorsi, okay, this large, broad muscle across the middle and lower back. This also attaches to the arm, so I like to reference the muscle's actions in regards to the arm itself. So it helps to adduct or adduct and extend the arm. Okay, used a lot in swimming or rowing. Now, let's look at the anterior side of the hip and thigh before we move on to the posterior side. All right, so down here we can see the tensor fascia lata, TFL for short. It helps to abduct and flex the hip. Here we can see the longest muscle in the body. Okay, the sartorius. It helps with crossing the legs. Here we can see the quads, right? The quads in the front of the thigh. The one that we can see clearly here is the rectus femoris going down the middle. Vastus medialis looking like a big teardrop. And then the vastus lateralis. Right, we're not going to go through the vastus intermedius, just these three visible ones. Now, they all attach to the quadriceps tendon, which wraps around the patella, and the patellar tendon, which attaches to the tibia. So when they contract, they extend the knee. Now, down here we can see the muscle next to the tibia, the tibialis anterior. This is a dorsiflexor, so it helps to dorsiflex the foot. Now, posteriorly, we see the gluteus maximus extends the hip. Underneath it, in this area, just below this fascia, would be the gluteus medius. Okay, so under here would be the gluteus medius. It also helps to extend the hip and also abduct the hip. It's one of those intramuscular injection sites with the vastus lateralis and the deltoid. Now, along the posterior side of the thigh, we can see the hamstrings. Again, lateral to medial. We can see all three very clearly. We have the biceps femoris laterally. The next muscle in is going to be the semitendinosus. And then on the inside is going to be the semimembranosus. Now on the model here, it's a little bit more difficult to visualize. You can kind of see it poking out from underneath it here. On the cadaver, it's very clear. Now all three of the hamstrings help to flex the knee. Okay, so the knee flexion or flex the knee, that's the job there that we see of the hamstrings. Last one here is going to be the gastrocnemius. You can see the two parts, the right and left head, catching through the Achilles to the calcaneus. All right, so the gastrocnemius helps to plantar flex the foot. And those are the muscles that we need to know for this next anatomy test.